Big Rab Show Podcast is kindly sponsored by G1 Reeds. They are the champion's choice, with many bands around the world playing G1 products, providing everything you'd need to hit the circle or the big stage. So, check out g1reeds.com as they keep the lights on here at the Big Rab Show Podcast. Hello there, everyone, and welcome to another Big Rab Show podcast. Another week has rolled round in the bagpiping world, and I don't know what's going on. It seems to be every week the piping world just moves leaps and bounds from when I was last talking to you. It's crazy. So we're going to do our best to get through all of the news and updates, of which there'll be way too many, of course. But of course, we've got an amazing topic of the week this week as well. And the title of this week's episode kind of does give the game away, but we'll get into all of that. But first of all, let's go through our introductions then, shall we? If this is your first ever Big Rab Show podcast, well, you are welcome. We are the show for the bagpiping folk. We reflect everything in the bagpiping world, be it Celtic music, folk music, or indeed our bread and butter, which is competitive piping and drumming. Each and every week, we're here, without fail, talking about what we know and love, the music of the Great Highland Bagpipe and its people. And yes, like every other podcast out there under the sun, we do have a Patreon, where you can go and help support our show by clicking on support. And by way of a thank you, you get your mitts on loads of extras. Yeah, there's episodes of Rab Show Plus. A new one was uploaded there about a week or so ago now. That's a lot of fun. Plus, you get our weekly Fuse FM Ballymoney radio show. That's up there, which is 2 hours live every week. Last night's show was a doozy, by the way. Yeah, the tune selection we had on there. Whew, it was such a good show. So, yeah, thank you to everyone who tuned in last night. The crack was mighty. Texts were flying, and if anything, apologies to that I didn't get through. There was way too many to kind of get... Anyway, there was a big show last night on Fuse, and that lives now on Patreon. So if you do want to go and check that out, it's up there now. You can go and download it after you click support. So do consider being part of the Patreon faithful. Yeah, thank you. So with each and every Big Rab Show podcast, we do open the door to listener mail, and this week is no different. Yeah. Our email address has never changed from the outset of the show, which is bigrabshow@gmail.com. That address again, bigrabshow@gmail.com. Now, I have to talk about listener mail because we have been kind of inundated. This morning, we put an advertisement out on our social media talking about our Meet the Band feature that we're going to be running here on the podcast over the next few weeks and months, I guess, as we develop this. And we're reaching out to pipe bands all across the UK and across the globe, I guess, as well. We're sending out invitations to everyone that we can find and asking, would you like to be a part of our Meet the Band segment? And to say that some of the reaction we have got has been both positive and negative. There are loads of bands out there that are very, very keen to be on the show and tell us your story, which is fantastic. But there's also some bands out there that are pretty reluctant. And say, none of us are any good at talking on the radio, and none of us are kind of clued in enough on the band's history and all that kind of. You know what I mean? So bands that are just that little bit reticent, I guess, of engaging and like telling us the story of the band, even if you don't know your band's history. Say you weren't around in the early 1920s, for example, when the band was formed. We don't need to know exactly every single date and place and name of people involved in the band at that time. So I think that's something that people are kind of getting stuck on, I guess. So, yeah, we're dealing with a lot of back and forward, a lot of correspondence with a lot of different pipe bands out there. And, just shout out to all of you who have been engaging with us through listener mail. There's been a lot of correspondence going backwards and forwards, both internationally and locally here in the UK. So, yes, just wanted to throw that out there, that it does seem to be the big thing that's putting people off, is that we do talking about your band's history. And there's a lot of folk out there going, well, I wasn't around in the 1930s whenever the band was formed, so I don't know it. And I don't really want to go on the wireless or the podcast and, be embarrassed. But, well, don't be. That we want to hear your band's story. We do believe that every pipe band out there is unique in its own way. And hearing that story is absolutely what this feature is all about. So, for example, say your band went off the road for 2 or 3 years, but then decided to rebuild, and now you're back in that circle, for example, and have only really hit that competition circle recently. Well, that's the story. We want to hear that. We want to hear about, who stoked the embers into flames, and now you're in the circle thumping out tunes. This is what we want to hear. We believe every pipe band out there has a unique story, and that's what our Meet the Band feature is for, to showcase that story and share it with the world. Yeah. So I hope that provides some sort of an explanation to the raft of correspondence we had with questions. Of course, we've been corresponding back and forth anyway, but just for anyone listening now that has perhaps not contacted us or responded to any invitations or anything like that, please do. Yeah, give us a shout back. There's a load of you out there who haven't answered anything, be it messages on socials or even, from what I'm hearing, a lot of our emails are going through the spam folders as well. Yeah, so secretaries, check your spam folders, please. The Big Rab Show has been trying to reach out to you now for a good number of weeks. Yeah. All right, so that's pretty much it for listener mail. A lot of it has been on our Meet the Band feature. And if you do want to be part of that feature, of course, and then, get in contact with us. Now, again, this is not just for top flight bands, okay? We're not just looking for the grade one big guns here. We're wanting to speak to everyone, as I've said, at all levels. So even if you're not a competing pipe band, doesn't matter. If you're playing pipes at all in a band setting, we want to hear your story. So, contact us. bigrabshow@gmail.com. And, we'll meet the band in our upcoming show. That would be fantastic. All right. So that kind of takes care of listener mail, I guess. I think, a lot of the other stuff is a lot of logistical stuff for future episodes. As I'm sure you're aware, our season is about to begin here in Northern Ireland just next week. We'll talk more about that, of course, in the news and updates. It's really quite exciting. And, there's been a lot of logistical stuff behind the scenes where ourselves and the Big Rab Show have been really ramping up our plans and how we're going to cover this incoming season. It's going to be quite a challenge, and we're going to do what we can to cover it as best we can. So, again, your support on Patreon does make all of that possible. But, of course, we are actively seeking volunteers. So if anyone out there does want to be a part of the Big Rab Show team, well, give us a shout. Yeah, we would absolutely love to hear from you. I think, many hands make light work. Isn't that what they say? So the more people we have available with cameras on the ground, that would be fantastic. Especially not with all of us in the Rab Show team. We're all competing this year. It's going to be really challenging. Anyway, we'll do what we can. So get in contact with us. bigrabshow@gmail.com. All right, let's move on. You guessed it. After listener mail, our next part is, it's Weekly Drone. And JD, I believe we have a couple of weekly drones on the shelf, don't we, man? Okay, let us have the first one then.
It's the Weekly Drone.
Still waiting. Hi, Raven team. Waiting. Still waiting for my album of last year's pre-Worlds concert. These things take time, I know. But nearly a year? Come on. I have paid my money. Give me what I paid for.
Oh, Weekly Droner. Yeah, you and I think everyone else who has already pre-ordered the Caberfy album have been texting us in, emailing us in, and I think that's the first Weekly Drone that we've got on this very topic. Yeah, People's Ford, Boghall and Bathgate, of course, in their big pre-Worlds concert last year was absolutely a moment in time, and it was ages ago. I do take your point there. This has took quite a while in development. So ourselves in the Rab Show, after we got this Weekly Drone, we did reach out to People's Fords, Boghall and Bathgate, and they did tell us, don't worry, Rab, an announcement is coming soon. And that was it. And at the point of me recording this, Boghall have it now posted on their socials. Oh, they've got a big announcement. So, they have a photograph of a box filled with what looks to be CDs. And they look absolutely beaut. Oh, this is exciting. So, the post reads, we've just taken a special delivery of our brand new Caberfy album, and we couldn't be more excited to finally have it in our hands. Stay tuned. We'll be announcing the official release date very soon. Dun, dun, dun. So watch this space, Weekly Droner. Yeah, now I'm right there with you. I pre-ordered this as well, of course, through the crowdfunder and all of that. And very excited to get my mitts on this because, of course, I want to play it on the radio. Yeah, I was at the show, of course, and I know what the music was like, and it absolutely was incredible, and I cannot wait to bring this to the airwaves, but I've had to wait like everybody else, you know? People think I have like some sort of secret inside track, you know? I've got, insider kind of where I can get music early because I'm a radio guy. No, absolutely not. No, I'm waiting on the release like everybody else. So my advice to you, Weekly Droner, is patience is a virtue here. I think this will definitely be worth the wait. Yes, granted, it has been longer in the works, I guess, than previous pre-World concerts, but that may well be for good reason, and we're not aware of what that reason may be until we get our hands on the album itself. I couldn't be more ready for this. So, yeah, for fans of People's Ford, Paul Colin Bathgate, please continue to be patient. They are working on it, and yeah, as they posted to their socials just there about an hour ago from the point of me hitting record, yeah, they're going to be announcing it very soon as to when and where we can get our mitts on it. Oh, that's exciting. Exciting stuff. Thank you, Weekly Droner. All right, JD, that was a bit of a negative one. Have we got one that's a little bit more positive, I guess? You know, to kind of lift us up a little bit. All right, JD, what's the next one?
It's the Weekly Drone.
Summer is coming. With the competition season upon us, it won't be long before Rab is live on the ground at the majors, piping live, and the Worlds. This happens every summer. And each time, for 6 or 8 weeks throughout July and August, Rab starts every show by saying it's a special episode, meaning there's no news and updates, no listener mail, no beloved weekly drone. Well, let me clue you into something, sir. It's not special if it happens every week, and it's definitely not special denying your listeners the best parts of the show. You think it's okay to cut out half the show just because you're tirelessly working to give us top-level content from the games, including interviews and performances, and deliver it for free to the comfort of my own home? How dare you, sir? JD, please read that last part with a bit of sarcasm, so Rab knows how much I love and appreciate you guys. I'm being cheeky, but honestly, it would be appreciated if you could sprinkle in a little bit of news, updates, listener mail, and weekly drone into your busy summer schedule. Love you guys. Keep being awesome.
Bye. Thank you. Weekly Droner. Whenever I first received that through our Weekly Drone inbox, I was going, hold on a minute. What? And then it turned. Yeah. That was an odd one, but yes, I do take your point that these are not special episodes. Yes, considering that they've now happened quite frequently, pretty much every year. So I take your point. Yes, as for the news and updates and stuff during special episodes, that's incredibly difficult to do. Because whenever we are doing a special episode, we are out there, on the grass, at a competition, and we don't really want to be stood there at a competition arena checking our email and then reading through listener mail, for example. Or, here, Jimmy has texted us in, or he's emailed us in and asked, where's the best place to go and buy a chanter? You know what I mean? So I'm just sort of riffing now, I guess. But yeah, as for giving news and updates and stuff during specialist episodes, we found that to be very challenging. We haven't been able to kind of, bring that in correctly, I guess. There has been other specialist episodes in the past that we have put together, and we have tried that. We have, tried to interject with like news stories of that week. This is happening and this is what's coming up, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, there's been a lot of those that have hit the cutting room floor. We have tried it in the past, hasn't worked in our experience. Yes, I take your point. It would absolutely be useful for those who are in need of the news and updates. And my advice for that, I guess, would be to follow us on all of our socials. Ourselves and the Rab Show team, we do work tirelessly over there on our social media, across our Facebook, Twitter, and all of that. You know, I think it's Blue Sky is another one. Threads is another one. Yeah, so we do our best to pump out the piping news wherever and whenever we spot it. So that's possibly the most up-to-date source of news. You know, if you are interested in what's going on in the scene, that would be my recommendation. Go and check us out on our socials. So, yeah, as for giving news and updates from or during specialist episodes, I don't know. We will try it again. We are looking at different methods and stuff of obviously trying to bring that to future shows. And, yeah, I do appreciate the criticism. If I'm genuine, you know, I am always looking for ways to improve our show. And, you know, I don't know if that's a piping and drumming thing in me, you know, that we're always constantly looking to improve, you know. Even if you say, for example, you win the World Championships, you know, it's not over. No, you go and do it again, don't you? You go and try and win it again. So, yeah, you never actually reach the peak. You never reach perfection. And, yeah, constantly improving is what we're at here. So thank you for the criticism. It is valuable. And, yeah, if anyone else out there has any criticism of our show, then please do get in contact with us. We do love to hear it, honestly. So bigrabshow@gmail.com if you want to put your name on it. Or if you want to do like our weekly droner did and do it anonymously, then absolutely, go ahead. But, yes, much love to yourself, weekly droner. Thank you so much. And, yeah, but we will try, okay? We're not going to make any promises, but we will absolutely, yeah, we'll take your feedback and we'll do what we can. All right, now we do have, speaking of specialist episodes, by the way, am I going to give the game away? No, I'm not. Don't worry. Don't panic, Big Rab Show team. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag. But I'm going to say this. We are working on a lot of specialist, really quite cool episodes this year. I'm not going to say what they are, but yeah, we've been working behind the scenes on a lot of really interesting topics and discussion pieces and things that we really think that would be of value to the bagpiping world. We've been doing this podcasting game for a long time, and a lot of our specialist episodes are some of our most popular that we've done in the past. And, you know, some spring to mind, like our mental health episode being one. That's definitely one that's constantly shared around. If anything, we shared it out there today because this is Mental Health Awareness Month. And, yeah, such a good podcast, that one. Well-researched and well-written, and it was really presented in a very positive way, and I would definitely go and check that out. And, yeah, we are working on more specialist episodes, delving into big topics that affect the piping scene. And, yeah, that's all I'm going to say. All right. No, don't worry, Rab Show team. I'm going to stop talking because I am famous for this. I always let the cat out of the bag, and I tell everybody what we're working on, and then it doesn't happen. And then it's a big disappointment. But I'm not going to do that this time. So everyone on the Rab Show team back room, you can all breathe a sigh of relief. I'm going to shut up now. There you go. But just wanted to let you all know, this is coming down the road. We are working on some big things here in the Rab Show pod. So if you aren't following us, and if you aren't subscribed to the podcast and all that stuff, do so now so you don't miss any future episodes and you don't miss these huge, big episodes. I'm not gonna tell you, but there's some big ones coming down the road. All right, there's some proper good pods that I'm really excited for. And right, stop talking. You're gonna give it away, and then right, it's happening. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh, right, shut up, Rab. Let's get into the news and updates. Oh boy. I'm terrible at this. You know, I can't do teasers and stuff. You know, there's ones out there like, you know, there's companies and stuff that can tease things really well. And I can't do that. You know, I just say, hey, we're doing this thing. No, I can't do that. So, right, let's move on. Time for the news and updates. So, yeah, I think at this point, I'll go and take myself a wee break. But I'll be right back. Do you wish piping could be fun again? Bagpipers around the world continue to struggle with their instrument, despite hours of hard work trying to get better. Bagpiping should be fulfilling. Your hard work should pay off, showing improvement and the freedom to express yourself musically. Or why do it? The Dojo University believe every piper should be able to free themselves from musical frustration, proven over more than a decade of successful teaching and accessible anywhere with an internet connection. The dojo is unlike any other bagpipe learning experience in the world. Let the dojo channel your enthusiasm into a fun and fulfilling program that will empower you with the knowledge to fall in love with piping all over again. So go to dojouniversity.com/Big Rab and take advantage of our 30-day free trial of Dojo Premium membership. Join the global community of students today and rediscover the fun of bagpiping. dojouniversity.com/Big Rab for a 30-day free trial. Ready to take your playing to the next level? Say hello to the ES Session Chanter, the ultimate practice chanter designed for versatility and durability. Crafted from stainless steel and aluminium, the chanter comes equipped for both an A stem and a B flat stem, giving you the freedom to play along with any instrument, anytime, anywhere. Whether at a band practice or a trad session, the ES Session Chanter keeps pace with your creativity. Included with the chanter is the custom carbon carry case, the perfect addition to this compact and tactile instrument. To get yours, head to essessionchanter.co.uk. Okay, time for the news and updates. Now, folks, I know I say this every week, but this week in particular, things are really starting to ramp up now as far as our competitive piping and drumming scene here in the UK in particular. So I'm going to do my best to capture all of this, but I know for a fact that I'm not going to be able to because there's just way too much. So yeah, as always, if there is anything that we have missed here that is glaringly obvious, then please do email us in bigrabshow@gmail.com. That address again, bigrabshow@gmail.com, and we'll do our best to bring it to a future show. Right. Where do we begin? Well, let's start at the beginning then, shall we? I have to give a mention this week to the Force Drum Major display team, who were at the Edinburgh Tartan Day. Now, what I didn't know is that this was the first one. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. Now, the reason I'm giving the Force a bit of a shout out this week, well, there was a wealth of other great pipe bands and all sorts of great artists involved in this event. Yet the Force put on a display of drum majoring that was just fantastic. Now, if you haven't seen the videos and stuff that we've published on our socials and that the Force have put out there themselves on their own channels and stuff, it's just fantastic. So, yeah, just wanted to give a shout out to the Force Drum Major display team, who really did an incredible job over there in Edinburgh. And yeah, the reason in particular I'm shouting them out is not only were they there at the Tartan Day celebrations with parades and like showcases and displays and stuff, but they were also there at the Red Hot Chili Peppers gig that evening in Usher Hall, which, if you haven't seen it yet, the little video clips and stuff, my word. I don't know. I have never seen anything like it, but wow is all I will say. That's my kind of review of that gig. I actually managed to catch up with some of the lads out of the band after that gig, and they were still buzzing a few days later. Yeah, they just couldn't believe the crowd that was there, and yeah, the reaction that they got was just immense. So shout out to the Red Hot Chili Peppers, to the Force, and to everybody else who was there on stage that night, to Rora and to everyone else. It was quite a packed show. It was just a huge event all across. So yeah, well done to everyone there at the Edinburgh Tartan Day Festival. It was just a lot of fun. The weather really helped as well. Yeah, because could you imagine if it was lashing with rain, if we would have managed to get half of the really great footage that we did? But no, thanks to Edinburgh for sorting the weather out. It was really nice. So, yeah, shout out to all of you. What an amazing event, and full credit to the Force. Yeah, just fantastic seeing drum majoring being represented in such a huge way like that. Just brilliant to see. All right, moving on. So this past weekend was a crazy busy weekend for all sorts of piping and drumming. Now, there was in total 3 competitions and a solo piping competition as well. So let's first of all talk about the 46th Annual Livingston Invitational. We spoke all about this last week, including the lineup and everything. Well, full congratulations to the overall champion on the day, Alex Gandy. Woohoo! Go on, Alex! Yeah, well done. So for full details on all of the results, of course, and who won what where from the Livingston Invitational, go and check that out. It's available now on their socials. I'm not going to read a hashtag list, but yeah, just to go through it briefly here, Derek Midgley won the Pembroke overall, and the light music went to Alex Gandy, and then, of course, the overall champion on the day was Alex Gandy. There you are. So yeah, they have been uploading little tiny clips and stuff and photographs from the event itself as well, so definitely a lot to enjoy there from the Livingston Invitational. And so well done to everybody involved. I've been told that it was quite an event to be at, for sure. Yeah, so, of course, to your overall champion, congratulations. Yeah, that's the Livingston Invitational. Now, also this weekend, of course, we have to talk about the Leinster Pipe Band Championships. Yes, ourselves and the Big Rab Show managed to get a camera or two there, and we did upload a couple of videos at that. Some of the drum majoring competition, of course, and some of the march past as well. So we got some of that as well. Now, as for the actual competition itself, unfortunately, we didn't capture any of that moment, I guess. But hey, we done what we could. You know, this is just the start of the season, and we're doing our best, I guess. So let's get through the results for the Leinster Pipe Band Championship. Yeah, starting with Grade 4B, the winner on the day was Craigavon. Woo! Second was German Thistle. Now, German Thistle from Berlin in Germany. So yeah, it's great to see them across. We also had the third then was the Youghal Pipe Band. Drummond also went to Craigavon as well in 4B. Good stuff, well done. Moving on to Grade 4A then, the winners on the day were Black Raven. Go on, the Black Raven. Good stuff. Good to see us out there, lads. That was brilliant to see. Second place was Moneygore, and in third place was New Rossin District there, their 4A band. And the Drummond went to Black Raven on the day as well. Grade 3A went to McNeilstown, who made the trip to Leinster, and they lifted the Drummond as well. And Grade 2 went to St Joseph's, Clondalkin. Yeah, and they lifted the Drummond too. Yeah, I think by all accounts, quite a cool event. You know, the weather, again, was a really great day. A lot of people were complaining about getting sunburn and stuff instead of getting soaked. So, hey, it's a turn up for the books. We'll not complain. A nice sunshiny day there down in Donabit, County Dublin. And, yeah, just a brilliant competition all round. So, yeah, well done to everyone there at the Leinster Championships. All right. Now, not only was that action happening on this side of the Irish Sea, but let's jump across to Scotland, where we had two competitions and a lot of piping and drumming to get our teeth into. I'm going to start with the Gurrock Highland Games, of course. Whew. Wow. I have to say, so many blistering performances from this. I don't know. I've been catching little clips and stuff all across social media, including TikTok as well. There's been little performances posted there. It's been a lot to enjoy. So let's run through the results then, starting with Novice B. Yeah. In first place was Lochgilly High School Juniors. Well done. Second was Falkirk Schools. Third was Open High. Fourth was North Lanarkshire Schools. Fifth was Dunoon Grammar. And sixth was Stirling and District Schools. There you are. Good stuff. On to Grade 4B then, we had Barhead and District, who lifted the overall title there. Well done, Barhead. In second place was Dunoon Argyll. Third was Uddingston Strathclyde, their Grade 4B band. And, fourth was Lower Clyde. Fifth was Kilbarkin. And sixth was Kilsyth Thistle. There you are. Quite a lineup there in 4B, actually. Quite a big grade that day. So, yeah, well done, everyone. On to Grade 4A then. Let me see. I'm going to check my list here. Yeah, Govan Community lifted the overall title. And I actually did see the run from Govan. Yeah, so great stuff. Hitting the ground running, as they say. Well done, Govan Community, lifting 4A. On the second place was Oban High School. Yes. Lochgilly High School managed to come in third place. Then fourth place was Williamwood. Fifth was Denny and Donny Pace Association. And sixth was Strathendrick. Yeah, and that was your Grade 4A. Moving on to Grade 3 then. In first place was Uddingston Strathclyde. Yeah. Now, for those of you who were watching our live stream of the results from Gurrock, you might have heard a little cheer from our cameraman, Stuart. That was quite funny, actually. Yeah, because it's one of those moments where you win a competition and you go, yeah! And then you realize you're live streaming to thousands of people online. And then he kind of caught himself and went, yeah! Oh, hold on, I'm streaming. Very funny. You can go back and have a watch at it. So, yeah, full credit to you, Stuart. Yeah, see you next time. Just go, yeah. Just, you won a competition, mate. Well done. Have your celebration. In second place in Grade 3 then was the Scottish Borders Pipe Band. Yes, now I haven't heard this run yet, so I'm Keen to hear it. Yeah, in third place was Livingston, Caledonia, and fourth was Govan Community, there in grade 3. Excellent. Moving on to the juvenile grades, well, it was Renfrewshire Schools who picked up the top spot there. Well done. On to grade 2, in first place was Denny and Dunipace Association. Yes. Second was Colburn, IOR. Third was Oban, after being newly upgraded. There you are. And in fourth place was the Scottish Borders. There you are. So in grade 1, yeah, quite a number of those bands did play up on the day, and we had a kind of an open grade. In first place was Colburn, IOR. Second was Denny and Dunipace. And in third was Oban. And that wrapped up all the action then from Gurrick. Now, we are, on the lookout for performances from this. As I've said, we've managed to hear a few of them, and we have shared those out wherever possible. So if you were at that competition and you did happen to snap a little video or two at that, please do send them our direction, send us the link, whatever, and then, we'll happily share that out, because I know there's a lot of folk that would definitely love to hear the action that happened there in Gurrick. But now, not only was there a competition in Gurrick, but also we had the North of Scotland Pipe Band Championships in Banchory. Yeah, now the lineup for this one was exciting. It was such a good competition. Now, again, I haven't heard too many of the runs from this. So, I'm putting the call out again. If you were in Banchory and you did manage to film a band or two, please do send it our direction. We're very keen to hear the action from this contest. So, let's go through the results then, will we? Starting with grade 4B, the winner on the day was the City of Discovery Pipe Band. Yes, hitting the ground running, boy. Good stuff. Well done, City of Discovery. In second place was the City of St Andrews. Yes, well done. Third was Bucksburn District Novice Juvenile. There you are. So, I don't know. It's fantastic. I'm going to give the top 3 in each one of these. All right? So, because I'm realizing the time is quickly getting away from me. So, let's move on. So, that was grade 4B. Moving on to 4A then. Our winners on the day were Elgin District. Go on, the Elgin. Good stuff, yeah. And in second place was Coulter District. Go on, the Coulter. In third place then was the RAF Lossiemouth. Yes, now I do remember reading their name a few times last season too. So, in the prizes again. Good stuff. Moving on to grade 3 then. First place on the day was the Texo D-Side Caledonia. Yes. In second place was the City of Discovery. Well done. In third place was Elgin District. You go. So that was your grade 3. Moving on to grade 2, winners on the day were Buck and Peterson. Now, I did hear a little clip of them on TikTok, but you know what TikTok videos are like, and 30 seconds and they're gone. That was it. That's all I managed to hear from Buck and Peterson at Banchory. So if you do have anyone out there has that full video, please send it our road. I want to hear it. In second place then was Texo D-Side Caledonia, and in third was Grampian Police Pipe Bands. Now, I believe this was their first outing in a competition circle this year, and I know a lot of folk were very excited to see them. And unfortunately, I haven't seen them. I haven't heard it yet. I've seen photographs and stuff, but I haven't actually heard them. So I'm very keen to hear more. If anyone has a clip of that, send it our road. I'm repeating myself. So in grade 1, again, there was kind of a bit of an open grade on the day. So, in first was Buck and Peterson. Yes. In second place was Bucksburn District. And in third place was Grampian Police. So, folks, yes, I'm going to say it one last time, and then I'm going to move on. If you do happen to have a video clip of any of these runs from either of those two competitions, please do send it our road, and we'll very happily share that out there on our socials. All right, let's move on. I have to talk about, upcoming competitions, of course. I have to mention Dollar Academy. Yes, the Dollar Academy competition is just around the corner, and the draw for this is now published online. You can go and have a look at it. It's up there now in the Dundee, Perth and Angus branch website. This competition is shaping up to be quite huge. Now, the draw for this... Now, all right, I'm not going to sit here and read the full list, #list, because there is quite a list of bands involved here. And I have to say, the amount of bands in here in grade 1 duking it out at the Dollar competition, woo! Yeah. Now, we have a number of bands in grade 2 here playing up in grade 1, but we do have a number of our grade 1 big guns, and I do believe this will be the first opportunity for us to see them, and they'll be competing at Dollar. So, we have Denny and Dunipace, Colburn Isleworth, and the City of Edinburgh are all competing up from Grade 2 in Grade 1 at the dollar competition. But then we have Johnstone, Scottish Power, People's Ford, Boghall and Bathgate, then Inverary and District. Wow. Okay, now that's just Grade 1. Now, as I say, there's 11 bands entered for Grade 2, there's 9 for Grade 3, and so on. I'm not going to read the whole list for you. It is available now. Just wanted to point you in that direction. The Dollar Academy competition's fast approaching, and the draw is available now on their website. So go and check that out. Yeah, and I don't know. We're going to do our best to try and get cameras at that. Okay, if you can help out with that, absolutely, please do give us a shout. We would absolutely love to cover this contest if we can. But yeah, that's shaping up to be quite a big one there. Yeah, shout out to Dollar. That's going to be a great contest. All right, bringing it closer to home to myself here in Northern Ireland, I have to give a shout out to the County Fermanagh Pipe Band Championships, which does open the doors for our Northern Irish season. Yes, the draw for this has been completed, and we couldn't be more excited to head to Enniskillen next weekend. Oh man, I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, heading down to Fermanagh for the championships each year is a bit of a highlight. I really enjoy the venue. You know, it's right there in front of the castle. You get the water flowing by and everything. Beautiful setting. It really is really, really wonderful. So, yeah, 24th of May, we're heading to Enniskillen for the County Fermanagh Championships, and the draw for it all is up there now. Yeah, now, as we were mentioning about Dollar and seeing loads of bands competing at it in Grade 1 and Grade 2, well, we do have a Grade 1 competition for the Fermanagh Championships. Yeah, we have Ravara are going to be duking it out in Grade 1. I believe this is their first outing of the year, so it'll be very exciting to see the newly upgraded Ravara in the circle. Yeah, looking towards Grade 2 as well. Yeah, we've got quite a number of bands in there. A good number that are competing up from 3A. We have the Major Sinclair Memorial, Clough-Finn, McNeilstown, St. Joseph's Clondalkin, and the Irvine Memorial are all competing up there in Grade 2. Exciting stuff. Into Grade 3A, then we've 8 bands in there. 3B, we have 5. Grade 4A, we have 5 bands. And Grade 4B, we have 7. Yeah. And to answer all your questions, yes, I'll be competing at it myself as well. There you go. Come on, the lagging. You. All right. Yeah. So the County Fermanagh Championships. That was shameless, wasn't it? Yeah. County Fermanagh Championships next weekend. And we couldn't be more ready to start our Northern Irish calendar. It's very exciting for a good number of reasons. And yeah, you can be rest assured. As I'm going to be there competing with Tullylagan, of course, I'm going to bring a microphone with me. And you'll probably get a full on-the-ground report from the County Fermanagh Championships and the commencement of our Northern Irish season, which is very exciting. There you are. So expect a special episode on that, okay? Whether you like it or not. But yeah, the draws are all taking place for these events. Closing dates are fast approaching as well. I think this weekend, actually the 17th of May is the closing date for quite a number of them. Ourselves here locally in Northern Ireland, it's the closing date for the Mid-Ulster Championships in Cookstown, and a wealth of others as well, okay? So just wanted to throw that out there. That's the draws we've received so far. And I want to talk about one more competition who did publish their draw not too long ago, and that was the Edinburgh competition, which is taking place on the 15th of June. The draw for it has now been published on their website as well. And they have a Grade 1 competition as well. Yeah, now they have Inverary District, Glasgow Sky Association, the Vale of Atholl are playing up. Then we have People's Ford, we have Police Scotland Fife, and Johnstone. Whew, wow, it's quite a lineup. Yeah, and then looking at the Grade 2 competition, there's 9 in there in total. So, wow. Okay, so yeah, the full draw for the Edinburgh competition is up there now, similar to all the rest that I've just mentioned. Go and read at it. Yeah, proper good lineups for these competitions. Grade 3, we have 7 bands for the Edinburgh competition. 4A, we have 9. And Grade 4B, we have 12 for Edinburgh. 15th of June. Whew, that's a big one. There you are. So, folks, I think whenever I'm reading through all of these draws and I'm spitting out the numbers like this, and I'm very aware that I'm not mentioning the names of the bands that are entered for these competitions, and I am glancing over them, I guess, at this point. So, yeah, that's simply for time, okay? I'm trying to shift things along, trying to keep it moving here. But, hey, yeah, your name has not gone unnoticed. There's quite a lot of very exciting performances ahead of us, and I'm really looking forward to seeing a lot of you in the circle. So, yeah, we will talk about these competitions as they happen, of course, and we'll do our best to cover every aspect of them as well here on the Big Rab Show. So those draws are now published online. Go and have a read at them, and yeah, there's a lot of information to get into, isn't there? All right, let's move on. Okay, well, also this past weekend, I have to give a shout for the Penn Highland Gathering, which took place in Germany this past weekend. 25 bands in total competed at this, from Belgium, the Netherlands, the Czech Republic, and all of Germany, all gathered together for this huge Highland Gathering. And yeah, full credit to everybody involved. Seemed to be extremely competitive. And yeah, looking at the way the prizes fell down too, is that the judges had a bit of a difficult time of it. So, yeah, let's rapidly run through the prize list at the Penn Highland Gathering, which happened in Germany this past weekend. And Grade 4B then, we have to give a mention to the Highland Dragon Pipe Band. Now, isn't that a name? Isn't that a name for a pipe band, mate? Wow, the Highland Dragon Pipe Band. That's dramatic right there. Love that. Yeah, and the drumming went to the Clan Pipers of Maguntia. There you are. So that was Grade 5 or Grade 4B. Yeah, the Grade 4B March competition, which was separate, the first place on the day went to the Clan Pipers of Frankfurt and District. Yes, excellent stuff there. There you are. So moving on then to the Grade 4A competition, first place on the day was the Riverside Alliance Pipe Band. Yes, well done. Moving on to the Grade 4 MSR competition, first place on the day again, Riverside Alliance. Well done, cleaned up there in Grade 4A, well done. Moving on to Grade 3B then, on the day, your winners was the Crest of Gordon Pipes and Drums. Yes, with the first and second in piping, third in drumming, however, but the drumming on the day went to the Nutshed Forest Pipe Band. There you are. My German's not great, but yeah, well done to Crest of Gordon, who did manage to lift the top spot there in Grade 3B. Looking at Grade 3A on the day, the winners on the day were the Concord Pipe Bands. Yes, well done. Looking across then to the open grade. Yes, they didn't have a Grade 2 or a Grade 1, but they did have an open grade. And winners of that were the Crest of Gordon Pipes and Drums. Well done. And the drumming on the day of the medley competition went to the Concord Pipes and Drums. Yeah. The MSR competition, the winner of that was the Nutshed Forest Pipe Band. There you are, and that was won on piping preference. And the drumming then for the MSR competition went to the Concord Pipe Band as well. So, yeah, that was the open grade MSR. So exciting. I don't know. I've seen the performances and stuff from this. I have to give a particular mention to the Crest of Gordon Pipe Band. I believe this was their first outing of the season, and it could be stuff that Rab got wrong, but the band were definitely sounding strong. And if you aren't following the scene there in Germany, you really should be. Yeah, it's really entertaining. I also have to mention there was a competition that happened not too long ago there in South Africa as well. Now, I've been doing my best to dig up the results from that. Fortunately, I've been unable to find them. However, I have seen little performance clips and stuff from various bands who did compete on the day. I have to give a mention to the Jep Pipe Band, who really sounded strong, to be honest. And yeah, it's fantastic to see. So anyway, if you have any further details about piping internationally or results from competitions that sometimes we find difficult to source, then please send it our road. We'll very happily share it out there with everybody. Yeah. So it's been a crazy busy weekend for competition with results aplenty, draws being published all over the place. We do have other stories to get into. Right, I'm going to talk about Piping Live. Now, I know this is, the middle of May now at this point, and Piping Live is just like way off in the future, but no, it's not that far away from now, believe it or not. Yeah, before we know it, we'll be standing in the middle of Glasgow surrounded with the music of the Highland bagpipe, and yeah, right in the middle of Piping Live. So my advice now is they've been posting it on their socials about something really exciting is coming soon. Now, as to what that is, I have no idea, but I'm intrigued. They've been teasing it now for quite a number of days, and they're encouraging people to sign up to their mailing list if you do want to find out early. Yeah, so they're encouraging people, if you want to see whatever this fancy announcement is, if you want to find out first, then go and sign up. Go to pipinglive.co.uk, type in your email address, and you'll get that announcement in your inbox before everybody else. So, yeah, I'm just going to encourage you to do so. Now, don't worry, if you do sign up, you will not be bombarded with all sorts of spam emails and junk and stuff. That doesn't happen. The folks at Piping Live are just basically using this as a means to announce something really quite special that they want to share with the piping crowd as quickly as they can. And email is possibly the best method for that. So go and sign up to their mailing list, and yeah, you'll be first to hear about this pretty exciting announcement that's coming down the line. As to when it is, no idea, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah. So shout out to Piping Live. I'm looking forward to that announcement, whatever it is. Okay, now this is not a news story, all right, but it's a personal anecdote, okay? Now, this last while, I've needed some piping supplies, okay? I needed some new chanter tape, I needed new, corks from my drones and stuff, because I lost my other ones, don't ask. I needed wee scissors, things like that, like the wee knick-knacky things that you need, and, you never really think of buying, and then whenever the season's rolling around and you need this stuff. And then, well, anyway, I had quite a list of things that I needed, so went to g1reads.com, and I thought, hey, I'll order all of this stuff in, and then whenever it lands in like 2 or 3 weeks' time, I'll be ready to go. So I ordered it on a Monday, I got it the very next morning. What the heck? It was so fast. So, I don't know. There's been a lot of talk now of, the difficulty of importing goods from Scotland across the Irish Sea to Northern Ireland and vice versa, and there's been a real barrier there. But I think for the things that I ordered, they absolutely just landed the next day. I couldn't believe it. Like, G1 Reads are based in Kirkcaldy in Scotland, which is quite a distance away from where I live here in Northern Ireland. So I just could not believe. I ordered the product that morning, and then the very next morning, the postman was at my door. Here you go, Rab. Here's all your stuff. Couldn't believe it. Could not believe it. So, I don't know. Has anybody else experienced this? The speed of delivery? But, hey, just full credit to G1 Reads, managing to turf that into the mail as quickly as they did, and then just chucking it out the door. And, wow. So, yeah, full credit to G1 Reads. It's not really a news story, but just wanted to throw that out there. I was really impressed. Really impressed with the speed of delivery there. Full credit to G1. Good stuff. All right, I have to give a big plug this week to Ross Miller, who's been furiously working away behind the scenes, of course, as he's going to be competing this incoming year. Yes, but for fans of the Ross Miller Band, you'll be excited to know that Ross has quite a number of dates lined up. Yeah, on the 18th of July, he's in Inverness. 25th of July, he's in the Isle of Bute. The 9th of August, he's in Ayr, part of the Fresh Air Folk Festival, which is huge, by the way. So many great bands playing at that. Brilliant to see Ross there. Also, 10th of August, he's in Glasgow. Yeah, at a place called Stereo. I'm not sure where that venue is in Glasgow. I'm going to have to check that out. But yeah, 10th of August, he's in Glasgow. And the 30th of August, he's in Dunoon. And then, 14th of September, he's heading to Belgium. Woohoo! Yeah, so dates aplenty. So for Ross Miller fans, if you are curious about going to check out any of those, then do go along and check him out on the socials where he's provided links and everything where you can go and grab tickets for these events. And go and check them out. Shout out to Ross Miller. Very exciting to see yet more dates being added to the calendar there. Okay, well, I'm going to bring it right up to date with something that's happening this weekend. Now, for those of you who've been listening to us on Fuse, you're going to know exactly what I'm going to talk about. We've been plugging it now for weeks. St. Lawrence O'Toole are going to be in concert this weekend in Balbriggan. Oh, we couldn't be more excited for this. The concert is going to be called The Lark in the Evening, and we have been plugging and promoting this now for what feels like weeks. But, this show is going to be insane. Now, St. Lawrence O'Toole, of course, on their socials, they're kings of teasing things, not like I am. And they've been posting all sorts of photographs and little tiny video clips of what the band have been up to, especially this past weekend where they had an outdoor practice. And it looks and sounds impressive. This weekend, I can't wait for the Lark in the Evening concert. It's going to be brilliant. Yeah, of course, ourselves and the Big Rab Show team, we're going to be there. We will be getting all sorts of behind-the-scenes kind of stuff if we can, but hopefully we'll grab a little clip or two from the show. Obviously, we're not going to film the entire thing. If you do want to be there, and see it all, then you have to go and grab a ticket for it. You can go to thelark.ie and check all the listings there, and hopefully the tickets are still available. Although at this point, I reckon they'll probably all be gone by this point. But yeah, this weekend, St. Lawrence O'Toole Pipe Band in concert, the Lark in the evening. Now, I do believe this will be the last of the concerts as what we affectionately call concert season, because, yeah, well, next weekend we're heading to Enniskillen for the Fermanagh Championships and our competition season starts. So, yeah, what a way to finish off concert season with a thumping great concert by St. Lawrence O'Toole. Wow, brilliant stuff. So really looking forward to this. It's very exciting. For St. Lawrence fans, this is one you'll definitely want to catch. And, yeah, do make sure you're following us on our socials as we do our best to keep you updated all across that. And, of course, don't forget, check us out on Patreon, where we will have a lot of exclusive extras. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. All right, move on. Okay, going to give a mention this week to the National Youth Pipe Band of Scotland. Yes, they have put out an advertisement saying that their trainee tutor program, yeah, it's back on again, and applications are now open. The closing date for applications is the 15th of June, so you do have a bit of time to think about it, but not much. Now, what is the tutor program, you might ask? Well, yeah, if you're looking to build some real experience, being a tutor, I guess, and you want to develop your skills, grow a bit in confidence, I guess, and be part of quite a supportive team. They have a lot of people that do work there at that Youth Pipe Band program, and yeah, would you like to apply for it? It's open now, and it is paid by all intents and purposes, so that might be a selling point also. Yeah, so you get hands-on tutoring experience. You get to learn from experienced, tutors that are around you and have been there, done that. You also get to build your own network as well, and be able to draw on experience, as you move on to other things. And, yeah, I would recommend this. There's been a lot of people that's went through that trainee tutor program, and I've ended up, believing that this is the way to go career-wise, and I've ended up getting a full-time post out of it, Perhaps not with the National Youth Band, but I've went on to teach in schools and other ventures all across. So, yeah, the experience gained from this tutor program is invaluable. So my advice, go to the nypbs.co.uk, which is the National Youth Pipe Band of Scotland, and, yeah, fill out your application. As I've said, deadline is the 15th of June, so go ahead, avail of it. And did I say that it was paid? You'll get paid for your time. That's all I'm going to say. There you are. Go and take advantage of that. The program is now available and closing dates fast approaching. Get your applications in. Okay, so just before I do wrap it up with all of the news and updates and get into this week's topic where we talk to Jordan, I have to give another big plug. Remember last week we were talking about a tune that was composed by a good friend of ours, Eric Evenhouse, that brilliant 68 March. Well, yes, we have been receiving some nominations in for this. Now, just to remind you what this is, Eric composed this amazing tune, and he wants to dedicate it to a fitting pipe band. Yeah, so he's thrown it out there to the Big Rab Show listeners to nominate a pipe band. Would you like to have a tune named after your pipe band? Yeah, it's a fantastic little number, I have to say, and it's been stuck in my head this last while. Yeah, fantastic tune, and yeah, we are still accepting nominations for that. There has been a few come in. So, yeah, we're going to keep the ball rolling, I guess, for another week or so, and potentially your band could have a tune named after it, a brilliant 68 March by Eric Evenhouse. Now, do you know what? I'm actually going to drop it in here again. I'm going to play it again. This is Eric's tune that is, at the moment, untitled, but if you would like to have your band, yeah, if you would like to have your band as the title of this tune, then, yeah, email us in. But for now, let's get a little listen to it. There you go. That's a brilliant tune, that. You know, I love that. It's really catchy. And I dare say it'd be really good to play on the walk too, you know. There you are. So, well, yes, if you would like to have that tune dedicated to your pipe band, well, Eric is quite willing to do so, but you need to send in your nominations to ourselves here on the Big Rab Show, and yeah, your name could get drawn out of the proverbial hat. Email us, bigrabshow@gmail.com, and title your email Tune. There you are. So yeah, get your email into us, and who knows, that tune could be called after your band very soon. There you go. Well, folks, I think at this point in the show, yeah, you guessed it, there's been some stuff that's hit the cutting room floor, I'm afraid, but that is all for time, and apologies to everything else that I managed to gloss over this week, but there has literally been so much to handle this week. It's kind of ridiculous. Piping world is just in a frenzy at the moment with so much happening. We've done our best. And as always, if there is anything we've missed, email us in, bigrabshow@gmail.com, and you can let us know the stuff that Rab got wrong. All right, well, you guessed it. It's time for me to go and get a big cup of tea. It's time for the topic of the week. Kingdom Thistle Pipe Band Supplies. For all your pipe band and marching band needs. Supplying everything from uniforms and instruments to custom-designed bass drum heads. They offer it all. Not forgetting their exclusive Kingdom Gilly Brogues and George Boots, crafted by bands for bands. Kingdom Thistle provides expert product advice and an industry-leading drum refurbishment service to keep your equipment in top-class condition. Also, shipping worldwide. So, stop by their store in Fife or visit them online at kingdomthistle.com for all your pipe band and marching needs.
This is Project Smoke, and you're listening to the Big Rab Show.
Yeah, there we go. All right.
Yes, indeed. Time for Topic of the Week. And the title of this week's episode kind of gives it away as to who exactly we're chatting to this week. Jordan Aiken. Yeah, an interesting bagpiper, whistler, multi-instrumentalist, composer, and teacher as well. Yeah. Now, as you do of an evening when you're scrolling through the socials and stuff, I happened to stumble upon Jordan and his music, and I have to say, this is taking bagpiping in a completely different direction that I didn't fully appreciate on the first listen. And yeah, after multiple listens now, I'm absolutely a fan. So, I believe that you folks will be too. So, managed to catch up with Jordan to hear about his story, his approach to the music, and where you folks can hear more. So, let's welcome Jordan to the podcast. Jordan, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How's yourself?
The best, mate, the best. Well, if anything, your story is quite an interesting one for me because I know very little about it, to be honest. I kind of stumbled upon your music on TikTok, of all places. Yeah. Can you tell us about yourself and your own music?
Yeah, of course. So I've kind of grew up in the pipe band world starting off. It's actually not my first instrument. When I was like 6 and 7, my granddad's an accordion player, piano accordionist. So it's like kind of surrounded by trad music quite a lot when I was a kid, and fell in love with it through my grandparents and other family members and stuff. And then he took us up to Edinburgh, and I heard the pipes for the first time. So I was about 9, 10, and I was like, I want to do that. Like, I want to play bagpipes. And one of my granddad's really good friends was in the Black Watch, and when he came out of the army, he came back to Newcastle and was a piper as well. So he was like, asked him about that, and says, my grandson wants to learn bagpipes, and he's like, well, there's a pipe band in Newcastle, so he took us along to that, the City Newcastle Pipe Band.
There you go, shout out.
Yeah. So it started there when I was like 10, started on the pipe, so I've been playing for about 23 years now, I guess.
Wow, yeah, you're putting an age on yourself now.
I know. Dear me. I'm feeling it at the minute. But,
so from learning through the pipe band world then to where I've now found you, which is in the trad and folk scene and that, how did you make that leap then from competitive pipe bands and all that stuff through to where you are now?
I kind of like being surrounded by it when I was younger. It was obviously an influence and stuff. And one of the big influences was Brayback, actually.
Yes.
And bands like that, and like the Tannehill Weavers and Gordon Duncan, and like finding all these amazing bagpipe players who were like involved in the folk scene as well as like the competition scene. So I kind of wanted to like get into a band that was, or like make something that was in the folk world or be involved in it in some way. So I was just in the competition bands and solo circuit for a little bit and pipe bands and stuff for a long time. And then when I got into my 20s, I was working for a wee while, and Simon McCarroll, I don't know if you know him from the solo circuit.
Yes, I do, yeah.
He was actually head of the folk and tradition music degree at Newcastle Uni. And every month we had this piping night where people would just come along and play the pipes for like, you just take your turn basically. And Simon, I was speaking to Simon about it, and he's like, get you on the course if you want. And I was like, I'd love that. So that summer, I managed to get like all the university stuff sorted and got on the degree. But then, unfortunately, he left for research leave as I joined. But I had like my hero, who was Callum McCrimmon from Brayback.
Yeah.
Yeah, so his wife, Laura Beth Salt, I was down teaching mandolin on the course, and we're looking for a pipe tutor, and she's like, Callum's free, he'll come down. So there you go. Yeah, so my whole 4-year degree was lessons with Callum, which was just unbelievable, and like he really kind of changed the way I looked at music as well. His influence and the way you look at music, the way you feel about music. It's trying to be modern, but also sticking to like the tradition as well, like making sure the tradition's always there in the music you're playing, and but having like obviously like a bit more modern twist to things and influences from other genres and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, so still having that foot in tradition, but honestly then just pushing it forward and having fun with it as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we don't often get to do that in the competitive scene, though, I have to say. So,
exactly.
Yeah, leaving that world from the dots on the page and your dot and cut and all that, then into the trad scene, is it a huge adjustment, making that transition?
I think it was kind of a bigger jump than I expected, because I started starting to learn whistle and flute and stuff like that when I was at uni as well as like a second study instrument. And to be honest, I thought that was going to be really easy. We're having the fingers for the pipes, and then short found out it wasn't at all. But then it was that kind of learning a new instrument, but in a more traditional way, kind of helped with that mindset of because a lot of it's kind of learning by ear, like the oral traditions of Ireland and Scotland and stuff like that. It's like the music getting passed on, and I learned a lot of I had a lot of lessons with various tutors, like my whistler's tutor was from Cork, so he just used to teach us everything by ear, and it was like very traditional. And then Callum McCrimmon did the same. He started teaching us by ear, because I was just like, I want to do more of this, and so it was kind of a big jump from that kind of strict regimented, like,
here are the dots. Exactly.
If you're not playing that grace note, you're doing it wrong, type of thing.
But there's been so many times we've heard that on the show. The pipers struggle with that transition. Like they would rock up at a trad session and they're like digging sheets of music out of the pipe case. So it's a very different world for sure. Now, I have to say, a lot more fun as well, is what I'm finding. Is that you can be a lot more free with your music.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think it's that freedom of it. I think it just gives you joy because it's like you've got the freeness to do what you like. It's a lot of the time now because I'm big into kind of going through old collections of music, and I spend a lot of time doing that. On my degree, I did that as well, but like now because I teach quite a lot, so I teach on the degree now. So a lot of the time it's like trying to find material for my students, but I like to find stuff that no one plays, so it's going through old collections and find these tunes. But a lot of the old pipe collections, you're getting the dots, but I write them out with any ornamentation on it.
Right.
And say to my students, right, this is just free for you now to like kind of do what any ornaments you want. This is just like kind of a guide. It's not the kind of end destination.
Here's the plan, but it's up to you to interpret it, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it.
It's interesting. So I have to say, the reason your music really did pique my interest is the other musicians that were playing along with you seem to be, I don't know, it's like a call and answer. Like, you guys really seem to complement each other a lot. Can you tell us about your latest project then, on the music I found on TikTok?
I'm new to all this social media world, to be honest with you. I don't really know how it works at all, but it was actually Heather Ferrier, who plays accordion in my solo project, Jordan Aiken Who. That's like my new project at the minute, my new band. But she kind of got us into the TikTok thing. She says, there's a big bagpipe world out there, like you'll probably do quite well in if you get on it. But I mean, she's been right since then. But Heather's an amazing accordion player. She's a clog dancer as well, so she's from Stockport, down next to Manchester.
Has all of that background in her tradition as well, and bringing that to the music as well.
Yeah, and the guitarist in the band, Alistair Paul, he's actually from Alt Bay, up next to Ullapool in the Highlands.
Oh, yeah.
But he also plays bagpipes, so it's...
he has that understanding then.
So
there you go.
And then we've got Bev as well. Bev plays bass, and he's from Lincolnshire, and the same with Adam. So Adam's not a folky at all. He kind of... I studied with Adam at university, so we all studied together, but in various different year groups. Adam used to just get pulled in to do folky stuff now and again, but then he's just like one of the best musicians I've played with in terms of like drumming, and his knowledge of music's incredible as well. So
that's what I was going. I'm glad you brought him up actually, because a lot of his playing has been a particular highlight of mine. Because I've been a drummer in pipe bands for years. I can hear that flavour coming through in his playing, He does step back through to that traditional word, but like have a jazz lick or even a rock lick or something, it really mixes it up, So it's really interesting, yeah.
I think he's kind of big influences like the jazz world. He does a lot of kind of free improv stuff as well. So he used to play in a band called Tote that was like a free improv band, so it was kind of like nothing was arranged at all. But it's like quite a lot of... It's nice having somebody who's from like that kind of world that understands that type of world, like the jazz world and like the free improv stuff, who can also like suggest arrangement ideas for the music we're making, because like there's stuff not like necessarily we would think about kind of being folkies and stuff, or like especially piping and stuff like that. But it's kind of taking a lot of influence from his music and kind of other genres of music to try and influence the stuff I've been writing as well.
Yeah, like a lot of the rhythms he's been using are incredibly interesting, and I really do think they push the music,
100%.
For folks listening right now, we will play a short clip at the end of this interview so you get an idea. But my advice is to go and check you out on socials. Do you want to give a bit of a plug then, Jordan? Where can people go and find you?
So I'm on everything, really. It's just Jordan Aiken Music. So I'm just on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and YouTube and everywhere, yeah.
That's as musicians need to be nowadays. Yeah,
exactly, that's it.
Yeah. So have you any recordings or that for folk to grab or anything like that?
Yeah, so we've just released our first EP, which is on all streaming platforms now, called Seven Castle Day. So that come out on the 2nd of May. So that's all up there now, if you fancy listen to it.
Absolutely. And here there are some thumping good tunes on there. I have to say, I got a bit of a listen. It's fantastic. Some of it's quite dense though as well, I have to say. You know, they're not immediately catchy, oh, that's a jig or reel. There's something you maybe get it on the second or third listen. You know what I mean? So is that the approach sometimes to the music? It's a thinking man's music sometimes.
Yeah, we've got this big problem actually. Like I play in various projects with everybody in the band. So myself, Alistair and Bev play in a 6-piece band called Ponzelius as well. And then I play in a trio with Heather as well. But it's the thing we always joke about. It's kind of, we always say it's like music for musicians.
Yes,
it's like
that's a perfect.
That's it. And we kind of struggle. It's just because we get so excited when we're very rarely getting a room together. Normally it's like once or twice every couple of months because we're all dotted about the place now, and it's so we're all getting a room and it's like a lot of ideas, but a lot of it's kind of one of the things I like to do with tunes especially is kind of so it's like how much things can you kind of take out of one tune. So it's like making riffs out of little bits of the tune. So you're breaking the tune down and then creating a bigger piece of music just with that just one. I see.
So from tune. Like a 2-bar phrase, for example, and then expanding on that kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. But then what that also creates is a kind of, sometimes you get these odd patterns and different type signature patterns and stuff like that. So like what you say, it's like quite dense because everybody's maybe playing a lot of different time signatures, but when it's all together, it's like it makes sense when it's together, but it is quite dense.
Yeah, that's it. So there has been times I've found myself and I'm just listening to the guitar and I'm like, what he's doing is amazing. And then you're listening to the accordion and then you're listening to you, obviously, and then the drumming. You listen to it in parts. And then the more times you listen, you kind of get it, that it's all clicking together. So, yeah, it's been so interesting. Yeah. Jordan, I am all for it, man. You're pushing piping in a new direction.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. So I'm dead excited to see more of this in future. Have you any gigs or that plan coming up then?
We're basically trying to book some stuff up for the back end of the year because we've actually just been up to Grant's House Studio up in Bigger with Chris Waite. And we've just recorded another EP as well, so we're hoping to bring that out at the back end of the year, hopefully.
Oh, so there's more to come then. Oh, more fantastic. To come, yeah, well, I think we'll close out and we'll play a little clip then from your latest EP then, yeah. But Jordan, I have to say a huge thank you for joining us on the show, and we'll be following this with interest now for sure, yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for having us. Cheers for that.
Thank you. That kind of does give you a bit of a flavour as to Jordan's music. And that track was called Goodbye Jiminy. Yeah, so do take some time. Check out the link in your show notes right now. Go to jordanaikenmusic.co.uk for full information, and of course, where importantly you can go and check out his music. It's all across social media at the moment, and as I mentioned, stumbled across it on TikTok of all places, but definitely a lot of thumping good tunes to enjoy that are definitely very musically dense. But there's a lot to unpack and a lot to enjoy. So, yeah, huge thank you to Jordan for joining us here on the show. And, we love discovering new music here on the pod. So, hoping that you folks go and check him out. And, enjoy is my instruction of the week, I guess. Well, folks, thank you all for downloading this week. Unfortunately, that's it for another Big Rab Show. Yep, another pod is in the can. And we'll be back again next week for even more bagpiping goodness. As next week, we're looking forward to the start of the Northern Ireland competitive season. And, we're going to be a little bit selfish, and we're going to talk more about the Northern Irish scene and what we're going to be expecting here on our side of the Irish Sea, I guess. But don't worry, we'll be covering all sorts of ongoing things in the bagpiping world all across the globe on next week's episode, as we always do, indeed. If you haven't already, please do consider checking us out on Patreon, where there are tons of extras, and be part of the Patreon faithful. And to everyone who's heading down to the St. Lawrence Tool concert this weekend, we all hope that you have the best possible time. And if you do happen to see any of our Rab Show team members running about, then do say hello. Yeah, they're all very friendly, and they do enjoy taking selfies. So do grab a selfie with a Rab Show team member if you can, indeed. Oh, I'm really looking forward to the concert this weekend. It's going to be so good. Come on, the St. Lawrence. Oh, I'm so excited for it. All right, that's it. I'm out the door. Thank you all for tuning in, and we will catch you all in next week's episode. Until then, I'll see you then. All the best. Well, that's it for another Big Rab Show podcast. Thanks so much for downloading this week, and a special thank you to our sponsor, G1 Reeds. Played by bands around the world, they are the champion's choice. Check out g1reeds.com for all of your piping needs. Don't forget to check out thebigrabshow.com to be kept up to date with all of the latest news and views from around the piping world. And also, check us out on Patreon. For $5 a month, you can get your hands on tons of extra piping goodness and be a part of the Patreon faithful. So, until next week, folks, we'll see you right here on the Big Rab Show Podcast. All the best.